Okay, so good afternoon, and today we are going to record the last lecture of today's, and if possible I'll be recording tomorrow. So the thing is that we are going to solve problem number 14 of tutorial sheet number 5. So now I think you can see that problem number 14 is this, and a similar problem with similar is been drawn over here. But the difference is the two semicircular disc is put in the same way, but over here in the opposite way. Now you look carefully that in this case, what is going to be the product of inertias? Ixy, Ixz and Iyz. What is going to be? Yeah. Now look that if you are going to cut, that means those semicircles instead of opposite way, like they are being placed in the opposite way. That means with the shaft, one is placed downward, other is placed upward, but over here both the semicircular discs are placed in the same way downward. Okay, so now let us look that the product of inertias. Okay, so now if I am going to cut it in the xz plane, I am going to get a positive y and a negative y. So that means all the y part is going to be 0. Look, the mirror symmetry lies with respect to the plane, except xz plane is the vertical plane through which you are going to cut. Okay, so yz and xy is going to be 0. Now, is there any other plane of symmetry? Yeah, of course there is. So that plane of symmetry is xy. You look, if you are going to cut it with the xy, you are going to get two identical sections. So Ixz is going to be 0. Now the plane of symmetry, let me write. The plane of symmetry I got is xz plane of symmetry. Plane of symmetry. And what? Xy plane of symmetry. Now what else? What else plane of symmetry is there? That is the yz plane of symmetry. Is there any yz plane of symmetry? No. There is no yz plane of symmetry. Look carefully. Yz plane means nothing is there. Because if you are going to pass it from the G point, it is just you are going to get the trace of the shaft, and the disc might be slight portion of it. No plane of symmetry. So this yz plane of symmetry doesn't exist. Only with the two plane of symmetry you can ensure the total product of inertias, all the three product of inertias are going to be 0. Okay, now once this problem is done, then we are going to check that which plane of symmetry is not available over here. So it is true that can we going to get yz plane of symmetry over here? No. We are not going to get yz plane of symmetry. If the disc is circular, then yz plane of symmetry is going to be there. Otherwise it is not going to be there. Okay? So yz plane of symmetry is not there. So yz is not there. Next, check xz plane of symmetry. Yeah, if you are going to cut it in the xz plane, are you going to get? Yeah. So xz plane is going to be there. Now xy plane, no, because if you are going to cut it in the xy plane, you are going to get that nothing is there. On the upper side, nothing is there upper side. On the lower side, it is 0, but it is there. So you don't have xy plane of symmetry. Now yz plane, xz plane means all the y component is going to be 0. So Ixy is equal to Iyz is equal to 0. Now this is what is your G point. Okay, now let us calculate what is LG. LG is going to be Ixx 0, Ixz 0, Iyy and Iyz is equal to 0, and you are having Ixz 0, Izz, and it is going to be what is 0, 0 and omega z. So essentially you are having Ixz omega z I cap plus Izz omega z k cap. This is what is your LG. Now what is going to be MG? MG is going to be omega z k cap cross this part Ixz omega z I cap plus Izz omega z k cap. So let's say I j k. So you have this k is going to be cancelled, ki j, yeah. So it is going to be Ixz omega z square j cap. That's all. So you understand that if this is what is going to be the case, then it is going to, what is the action? Action is going to be, it is going to topple like this. The y moment is going to act like this. So the couple is going to act like this, or the moment is going to act like this. It is quite obvious from your H.C. Verma. Look over here, the mass is concentrated over here. So the centrifugal force is going to act like this. The centrifugal force is going to act like this, and they are equal. So it is going to create a couple, and that is what exactly we are going to get. Now this problem is been solved. So what now you are going to do? You have to calculate the Ixz of entire system. So it is already been told that the shaft bearing this, calculate the force applied on the shaft of the bearings for the angular speed is, neglect the force of static equilibrium. Two semicircular discs is welded to the shaft supported bearing A. So shaft weight is not been given. So that means the shaft is massless. Now I have to calculate the Ixz of these two. Now what is going to be the Ixz of these two masses? Now you come over here, you come to the G1 and G2. Now look over here, if you are going to come to the G1, sitting at the G1, you are going to get all the mirror symmetry. That means all the product of inertias are going to be 0. Now what is Ixz with respect to this G point? With respect to G1 G1 point. Now let me explain this way. For example, let me draw it. Then it will be quite clear to you. So let's say this is what is the shape that you are going to expect out of it. This is what is the shape. Look over here, the G point is over here at the mid of it. So you are going to get this plane of symmetry. One is this plane of symmetry, other one is this plane of symmetry. So if I am going to consider the equivalent coordinate system, if I am going to put it over here, then I am going to get xy plane of symmetry and x-z plane of symmetry in the semicircular one. So all the product of inertias are going to be 0. Now the product of inertia which is going to matter is the distance between them. So I have to calculate what is z and what is x. Okay. So for this part, now I know that x is equal to Ixz. For this part is going to be m. M is, yeah, some m value will be there. Now it is x is 4r by 3 pi. 4r by 3 pi, I think. Yeah, 4r by 3 pi. So that is what is your x. And what is z? Z I am considering that it is 80 is equal to 80 millimeter. Let's say it is d. So this distance is going to be twice d. Right? It is clear? So at G1 point, if you are going to consider at the G1 point, all the product of inertia is going to be 0. So with respect to the G point, what you are going to get is that the distance, the shifting of the coordinate. That means you are going to move the x amount, x and z. So that is what I am writing. Shifting the coordinate or the origin. Now this is what is done. Next is plus m times what is going to be the x? Minus 4r by 3 pi, and what is d? Minus twice d. Okay, done. Now what is going to be the omega? Omega, it is written as 120 revolution per second. So it is omega z is equal to 20 revolution per second. RPS is equal to 20 into 2 pi radian per second. Right? So if you are going to put the values, let me check what I have got. Ixz I have got. Ixz is equal to 0.0163 kg meter square, and this omega z as how much I have got omega z? Yeah, 125.7 radian per second. Okay, now as we are neglecting the static load, so you understand that only you will be getting for this coordinate system ax towards the x and towards this bx, ax, a small x and b small x. These are the, along the x you are going to get the reaction. Okay, because your moment is acting along the y. Okay, so as there is no static load, so you can consider that ax is equal to minus bx. So this moment, whatever the moment that you have got, is going to be ax times this distance. So it is once again twice t. So you are going to get ax, look over here, ax is equal to whatever the moment you have chosen, that means 125.7 ka whole square into 0.0163, right, divided by 2 into 0.0163. that 80 millimeter, that means 0.08. Right? So it comes out as 1609.7 Newton. So you will be happy that you got the answer, but this is not the correct answer. Correct answer is somewhat different. So what you have got is that at this instant of time, the AX is at that instant of time. It is going to vary with sine and cosine component. Okay? So it is going to be AX. AX is equal to 1609.7 Newton towards small I cap is equal to 1609.7 cos of 125.7 T towards I cap, capital I cap plus plus 1609.7 sine of 125.7 T capital J cap. So that becomes the answer. Because you are going to get always a repeated force, because with the body that is going to rotate. So now are you understanding what is body fixed frame of reference? Yeah, we have used the body fixed frame of reference. With respect to that, I have derived the moment and I calculated the support reactions with the body fixed frame of reference. Now when I am going to come towards the inertial frame of reference, I have to convert those forces towards the inertial frame of reference. Yeah, it is clear now? So with that, we can conclude that due to, over here you look, both the centrifugal forces are aligned in the same direction. So it is not going to create any moment. If you just calculate the LG, the angular momentum with respect to it, it is not going to change. But this angular momentum, which is at the plane of I and K, that means it is towards this, it is going to rotate along the Z. So as a result, it is going to create a moment which is towards the J direction and going to create a repetitive support reactions at both the bearings. Right? So that's the end of this part. Now let us come to the problem number, part B, problem number 2. So that problem is talking about, let's say you have a book, an ant is moving from this corner to this corner. I think you are understanding. So you have, let's say, this book, and an ant is moving from this corner to this corner. And you are turning this page. So it is asking what is the velocity of that ant. So what you can do is that you can take the absolute position of the ant at any angle theta. Say this is, it has been turned to the angle theta, and with respect to theta and with respect to this coordinate, you can derive the absolute position, that means with respect to the inertial frame. What is inertial frame? Inertial frame is the page which is resting on it. Right? You can get and take the direct derivative. You are going to get the velocity. Otherwise, what you can do is that this motion is rotating. So that part you can consider. So this position is going to rotate. So as a result, it is going to create the velocity. At the same time, it is having the relative velocity. From there also you are going to get the same result. So we have solved problem number part B. All the problems we have solved. If you are not going to get, I will be sending you the solutions. Okay. Now what is been left in this tutorial sheet is figure number 10 or the problem number 10, problem number 10 and problem number 8 and 13 and 15. So these 4 problems we will be solving in the next class, recording it. But before that, let me finish the rigid body motion part with a small experiment. Is that, let's say, let us remove this. Just 5 minutes. 5 minutes. So say suppose you have F, A, B and C are the 3 vectors in the same vector space. Then you can write that B plus A plus C, or you can write C plus A plus B. Right? Say yes or no? That means if A, B and C are the 3 vector of the same vector space, then you can write it like this. Now let us do an experiment. You take your mobile phone or any book. So you denote x axis, y axis and z axis. You give 90-degree rotation with respect to x first, then 90-degree rotation with respect to y, and then 90-degree rotation with respect to z. Note your initial position and the final position. Now you do one thing. At first you give 90-degree rotation to y axis, then you give to x axis, then you give to z axis. Note the initial position, you have noted the initial position and the final position, right? Now you do the third experiment. Third experiment is, at first you give 90-degree rotation with respect to z axis, then you give 90-degree rotation with respect to x axis, then you give 90-degree rotation with respect to y axis. Now is all the 3 final position same? Are you understanding the question? The question is pretty simple. You just take your mobile phone and the room where you are sitting, you mark x axis, y axis and z axis. Let's say this is what is my x, y. So it is going to be, so this is going to be x, y and this is what is my z. So this axis is x axis, this axis is y axis and this corner is z axis. Now I am going to give the 90-degree rotation with respect to x first. Take this position, note this position, whatever is there, note this position. First you give 90-degree with respect to x, then 90-degree with respect to y, then 90-degree with respect to z. Now you change it to 90-degree with respect to y first. Note the initially that position, that means after giving x, y and z sequence, note the position, the initial position and the final position. Now you go back to the initial position. At first you give 90-degree rotation with respect to y, then 90-degree rotation with respect to x, then 90-degree with respect to z. Note the final position. Now are these 2 final positions same? I want to know the answer. Okay, and you can extend this experiment with 90-degree with respect to z, then 90-degree with respect to x, and 90-degree with respect to y. So I want to know the result of this experiment, or otherwise you will be understanding this. So this experiment is going to generate a concept of rigid body, that is the Euler angle. And this Euler angle concept we will be doing it through handout. I think I will be giving you the handout, and on the online lecture I will be with the handout I will be explaining it. But please keep one thing in mind. Please do this experiment. Please do this experiment. You can take your mobile phone or your book, whatever it is there. So do this experiment and tell me the answer. Okay. So with that background of this experiment, we will be entering into the Euler angle, which is the important concept of rigid body dynamics. Okay, so with that I am going to conclude. Thank you for your patience.